Hey, good morning. It's 9:48 a.m. It is November 29th, which today is Sunday. This month just sped right by, but it was boring, okay? I'm kind of glad that it sped by, but usually when you're bored, time seems to go by slow. It's very strange, but time is flying by, Maybe it's because I'm like, the situation that they put me in, and I'm just like wondering what the heck's going on. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that. But this video, I'm calling it in the present moment, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to live in the present moment. Like, don't think about the past. Stop over, projecting the future. Just live in the moment, which is very hard for me to do because I've always done things in my mind simultaneously. Like, the past was what I was focused on in a lot of ways because I always thought my past was positive until I really started analyzing my life, realizing that the reason why I was having problems at work and all these other issues that were causing me a lot of pain, right? I was always focused on my past, like the joyous times, like my childhood and stuff like that. But when I think about it, I was in the midst, even in my childhood, I was in the midst of people who were harming me, okay? Because I'm thinking about all of those things. And I don't want to bring all of that up, but I'm going to tell you it's very hard not to bring it up when you're talking and you're trying to focus on moving on because there's so much in my life that has been affected and I've suffered for decades. And just in the last 7 years since leaving the farmer's place, my life has been an absolute nightmare. Like I said, every day there's not a day that goes by that I don't resent and resent working there. It was a nightmare. And so, but all the other years of people causing me problems at work for no apparent reason and stuff like that, all of those things, they come up to the surface sometimes because it's like this build up, this build up, this build up. But so it's very important for me to focus on the moment. So, when you're dealing with gang stalking and you're dealing with human trafficking, one of the issues that they try to do is they try to modify who you are, okay, because they don't like it or they're competitive or whatever, okay? So, the things that pacify me, they try to detach you from. Now, mind you, that's not going to stop me from making arts and crafts, okay? But the very fact that they use this as a manipulative type um, um, issue or whatever, they use it to manipulate or bully me for years. Um, it could, I can see why people go off the deep end. I can see why people who are targeted individuals, they do commit suicide because you give them no reason to live. You put them in jobs that are set up for failure. You try to dehumanize a person to where you hollow them out as a person, as who they are, and try to introduce new things that these people are not interested in. So this person basically has no reason to live, you see. And so it is that's the criminal part of it. The part of it is that it denies you of your human rights. And when you've dealt with that for a very long time and you become aware of what it was, the system that was put in place, and the people that did it to you, it is devastating. So, some people do seek counseling, some people do commit suicide, some people do whatever. But the thing is that, I try to trudge on, and try to take pleasure in my positive moments are making arts and crafts. Okay, they are. And then going out for walks outside, which is something that they were bullying me over as well. And so these programs, okay, are illegal for a reason. Okay, because you put people's lives in jeopardy, not just with the stupid rumors and all that other stuff, but the bullying, denying people their rights to employment, blah 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 blah. And this is the issue. The issue is that when you put somebody under this sort of tremendous stress 24 hours a day, okay, there's going to be damage. Okay, so the damage that they've caused me is that I deal with a lot of anxiety over issues because it's like you feel like you're walking on eggshells. You know what I mean? If you turn on a certain radio station on Pandora or something, right? Like you might be listening to classical music, and because people think you're geeky, you know, then maybe your neighbors might hear, and then they might report it to your perp that you're listening to classical music, and blah, 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 blah. And so the bully, this is the kind of trauma and the boxed world that you get forced into, okay? Because human trafficking is a form of slavery. It's a form of somebody dominating you, okay, taking away your rights, taking away your ability to speak for yourself, like treating you like your property, okay, and that's wrong, okay? So, and like I said, I didn't come on this video to talk about those things, okay? My thing is talking about focusing on the present moment and what keeps me focused on the present moment. My hobbies are keeping me on my, you're not going to tell me that I can't do things in my own home or detach me from who I am, you know, because I have the right to live just like everyone else does. You know, I have my own likes, my own preferences, and what you did was wrong, okay? I will like to say that. And what it was ill-intentioned, whether you knew it was illegal or not. And you really should have. These people, I think every day, these people should have been sued. So I wouldn't have to pound the pavement, try to look for work. No one literally pounds the pavement anymore, okay? But you know what I mean? They wouldn't have to be in a situation like this. Like if I had a clean slate, meaning, you know, I didn't have people who were constantly monitoring me, people who were, you know, bullying me for all these years, okay, I could have had a decent life. I could have had a decent, productive life. I wouldn't be sitting here. I could have had stability in my life, you know, and this is something that I deal with a lot, and it comes up to surface a lot, okay? It comes up to surface almost every day. So, and then they try to take away the very things that give you comfort. Do you see why people break under this program? Okay? It is not a form of anything positive. It's evil, is basically what it is. Okay? So when you dealt with evil for decades, okay, in the last 7 years, okay, leaving the Farmer's Place occurred in 2013. That was January, I believe. I got to check my resume because I have all the dates and stuff like that, but sometimes you forget. But I do remember it was 2013, beginning of it, okay? When you deal with that every day, your interactions are strange. You get strange phone calls. You get bullshit interviews. You get bullshit, you know, whatever. You deal with these constant, ongoing trauma, harassment, bullying, okay, I will tell you that it's going to affect you. And then you put a person in isolation, so all they can do is start putting the puzzles together, which is what I've done, okay? And, you know, I can understand why somebody would take a gun out and blow their brains out. I fully understand, okay? This is an evil thing to do. It is illegal, okay? And and when you made, like, videos for 5 years, over 1,000. I'm like 1,160 or 70,000 videos I've made. Okay, I'm dead serious about wanting to clear this issue up because I've been wronged. You know, I've been wronged. I've been seriously wronged. And now bringing this girl from the workplace, okay, which I remember putting her in the equation in the beginning, but I didn't see the significance of it. Now I understand the significance of it. I'm like, holy shit. Strange. Very strange. Okay. When you think about this and then you see that somebody is continuously bullying you, okay, and they seem to feel like they have some sort of right to do so, even though they don't, you know, you wonder, what is this? You know, this is a fucking hate crime, is what it is. It's a fucking hate crime that people get that people get fooled into participating in. So being a victim of a hate crime and realizing that it's been going on for over decades, okay, but then in the last 7 years, we got this new person in the crew, the girl from work, right, who is fucking tyrannical. I don't know this girl that well, okay, but obviously she has infiltrated my space. and like somehow wanted to hijack things that I was associated with. Okay, meaning that she intermingled with my ex-husband and the guy from high school or whatever. So anyway, you get creeped out about stuff like that. Okay, and the problem with it is that you know, I understand that a lot of employers, you know, this is their business. I respect that. That's your business. If I would have my own business, I would not put people's lives in jeopardy and think that it's okay to do that. Okay, like I know that stalking, it can be interesting sometimes. Okay, because like you know, people think it's cute. It's not cute. Okay, it is a seriously traumatic experience. And you might think, well, you know, we can keep it contained. You know, this person's calling in, and this person's going to tell another person, this person's going to tell another person, and then it can become explosive, which I can tell you from years of experience, it always ends up explosive. So it's not a joke. It's not funny. Okay. And then sometimes, you know, if you think about it, you could be aiding a person with illegal intent. Now, this girl obviously has illegal intent, okay? Because I'm not interested. So she intermingled with my ex-husband, and she was with a guy from high school or whatever. So I'm not interested in this love game, okay? I'm not. I'm really not, okay? But to put somebody in a situation over something like this is fucking insane. You know, it's insane, okay? It's insane. So when you deal with the fact that people are not mentally stable, okay? They're not mentally stable to do these sort of things. I'm not just talking about her. I'm talking about anybody who gang stalk people. They're not mentally stable. And so then you put them at the hands of their ill treatment. You know what I mean? This is the issue of human trafficking. This is the issue of domestic stalking. This is the issue of, you know, ex-husbands and stuff like that, dominating and controlling and abusing women. Hang on a second. I set a reminder every day to replenish the water supply in the refrigerator, and so I was ahead of it today. I'm like, I'm doing good today, you know. You gotta congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back for every little thing that you do right now, okay? Everything has to be a joyous occasion because you have to make the best of what your life is at this moment, okay? So, like, I filled the water up earlier today. That is a frivolous bullshit. Who gives a shit, right? That's an issue that nobody cares about, okay? But when you're in isolation, okay, and they've deprived you of every goddamn thing that you ever cared about, right? You're distanced from people. You don't have a life, basically. Then you have to make a big deal out of everything, right? A big deal. Okay. So anyway, I didn't come on here to reprimand or dig things up. Okay. But you got to understand, I'm dealing with a lot of trauma. I'm dealing with a lot of trauma because think about being a victim of a hate crime. It's a hate crime. Okay, the issue that it started off with the racism, then you used it as a religion as excuse to hide the racism, and then all this other bullshit stuff, that the weird shit that I lived with, okay, for a long, long, long period. It is a fucking hate crime. It is, plain and simple. Okay, and when you put this into perspective, your mind's blown. Like you really do get feelings of anxiety and stress, right? And so I knew what's best for me, even though like I knew it was best for me. That's why I wanted to go back to work or find any little job I could do just to get my mind, get me out of the house, get me back to normal. Okay. But that's why these people should have had the ability to pull the strings in the first place. This system that this forced network that I was associated with, I was forced to associate with against my will, okay, has prevented me from living my life and functioning as I should be, okay? You denied me my free rights. Why shouldn't I be angry? Like I said, you know, when we talk about these, and I would never do this, okay? I would never do this, but you find these people who go postal, right? Like I would never do that myself, okay? We all know why. But when these people do, this is what's going on. This is exactly what's going on. You know, these people who end up being victims of this person are not innocent bystanders. Nobody in their right mind, you know, goes into work and starts going off on people like that. these kind of little subliminal covert operations that go on that people keep secret, but the person who is targeted feels the impact of their bullshit hatred, their plots, their schemes 100% every day, 24 hours a day. They're impacted with fear for their life, okay? And it's funny, and they think it's a joke. So this person one day snaps, okay? It's understandable. It's not right, but it's understandable, okay? But this kind of stuff is going on, okay? And it's dangerous. It's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, you cannot put somebody under that kind of pressure and expect them to just be like, oh, okay, I'm okay with that. No, they're not okay with that. So you could take a positive road, which I think I took a positive road. I made videos. Okay, over 1,100 something. I don't God know how many numbers it is close to it, but it's pretty goddamn close to 1,170. The last time I checked, close to that. That's a long time to be making videos, to be talking about stuff. But it has helped me because it makes me put things together. You know, if you started watching the videos from the very, very beginning, I was still under the impression that my ex-husband was like a decent person. I was under the impression that my family was involved in it, but I didn't know exactly how much involved. All of this sort of stuff. I didn't know shit. But all these videos, putting them all together, it's like a history. It's crazy. But I'm glad I made them. Okay, it has been a fucking nightmare. That's not a joke. Okay, there's nothing. I don't find it funny. I don't think it's cute. You know, when you've made several videos and tell people get out of my life, this is illegal. You don't have scriptural reason for doing what you're doing. You don't have legal reasons to doing what you're doing, and they still fuck with you. That's a fucking hate crime. So think about what it's like to be a victim of a hate crime for 7, well, not just, you know, getting mobbed out of your jobs and dealing with stupid people, okay? But 7 years of 24 hours a day, constant harassment and threats to your goddamn life. You think somebody's just going to be like, oh, I'm all right with that. So I've made videos, okay? And I'm learning to live in the present moment. That's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, there's a lot of animosity, you know, and I've already mentioned that it's not forgivable. So but it is something that should be forgettable. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move on with my life, you know. And so, you know, I want to meet new people. I want to meet, you know, people who are decent, you know what I mean? And so you reach out to the targeted individual community because first, okay, why? Because obviously they understand what you're going through. Okay, some people would think, you're just being a drama queen. It's not. I'm not a drama queen. Okay, believe me. If I wasn't going through this, I wouldn't be making. And if I was making videos, I'd be making videos about certain hobbies and interests that I have. Okay, this video was meant directly for my employers. When I first made my first videos, I started sending them to my employers, so they know good and well. And so when I was basically saying on my videos, what you're doing is causing me trauma. Does that word mean anything to you? What you're causing me trauma. Post-traumatic stress disorder. You are causing me severe pain and you continue to do it. This is a fucking hate crime. Please stop doing it. Sorry, I'm going off because it's something that it's one of those things. It triggers. Naturally. Understandably. So don't get angry with me for feeling what is naturally meant to feel. Like I said, people can react in different ways. I believe I've taken out the most positive way I could do it. Okay? Because like I said, there's some people who would have snapped. Okay? Now, when I blew up at that girl, she wasn't a girl, she was an old woman, a hag at that, over there at the manufactured homes place, who went off on me. I think I handled it pretty well. I did call her a few slang words, you know what I mean? But that's, you know what, it's so much better off than snapping her neck, which is exactly what she would have deserved. You don't play with people's lives like that. So anyway, sorry if I'm continually backtracking, but it's hard not to. Okay? Just like people who go to war and they deal with something traumatizing. They see people's lives lost. I think people see people's lives lost, or maybe they experience some sort of injury. Seeing this sort of stuff playing out in your face day after day after day after day after day, okay? This is what these people deal with, okay? And some people think, well, what's the big deal? Having somebody dangle your fucking life, your means of employment, your being able to get a job, your employment, dangling this shit in your life, in your face, 24 hours a day and thinking it's fucking funny. Are you some sort of sadistic fuck? Because that's exactly what you sound like to me. Sorry, I don't mean to go on and on and on this, but it really does affect you. It affects you. Okay? It's sick. And they should be in jail. You know what I mean? And every day I think in my mind, I would feel at peace if I had a news announcement, these people were dead, I saw their obituary in the newspaper, or I saw their asses carried off to jail. Why? Because I want to make sure they never fucking bother me again. Now, I know when I first started making these videos, because they're discrediting rumors. Oh, she's a little eccentric. I might be eccentric, but I'm proud of it. Okay, not like where I'm marching up and down trying to show off my eccentricity, okay? What makes me eccentric is somebody that I speak my mind when, and only when, I have to. Okay? I also base my life on things that are law-abiding. And I do not bully or harass other human beings. I'm a civilized person, which makes me different among the savages. And that's exactly what it is. Your behavior is savage. And once again, see, I went off. That was not the purpose of this video, but it's a very touchy subject, and rightfully so. So if I come off like, I'm not trying to come off like, ooh, but you cannot help it. And so I should be congratulated for taking the positive road. Because there's a lot of people who couldn't. They will snap. Okay? And I know I have limitations. But in reality, they don't deserve that sort of consideration. And we all know it. I'm not somebody who is like, I'm not a touchy person. I mean, I can joke and stuff like that. I have a sense of humor. Like I was giggling over some stupid shit that was going on in my head a couple of days ago. You know what I mean? But this sort of stuff isn't funny. You know what I mean? It's not funny. And it is actually disturbing. And you see why it's unforgivable. It is. It's unforgivable. So, so today, I don't really have much to do. I'm just kind of kicking back. I watched a lot of videos yesterday. I checked out a new channel. As everyone knows, Maria has an interest in paranormal phenomena, and I do have an interest in, because number one, I have a keen sense of intuition, okay, which I personally try to shut down as much as I possibly can. It's like when I encounter people, I don't like reading into people. I don't. Like when I was married to my ex-husband, I didn't want to read into him. I figured if I got to read into you, we shouldn't be living together, right? I wish I would have read into him a long time ago when I first met him. Okay. So, but when I do meet people, because you can't sit here and wonder what other people think of you all the time. You can't sit here and like try to think, what's going on? You can't be that way, because you have a life to live. You know what I mean? If you had to worry about what everybody thought of you or whatever, you would go crazy. So I just try to be cool. When I meet people, hi, how are you, whatever. I don't want to sit here and think, are they a perp? Are they a this or that? I don't want to think that way. Okay. So like if I see people at the grocery store, I don't know what they think or whatever. I know that a few of them slipped up and said stupid things before, right? Because, some people can't handle secrets. They just can't. Even though it's a community type secret where people know that this person's being bullied or whatever, they're not going to come right and tell you. But they've kind of slipped up and said things. So that's one of the reasons why I knew that when I went out for a walk, that kind of pissed people off, right? Because one of my neighbors slipped up and said it. And I kept thinking, it's none of your goddamn business. You know? So I'm like, oh God, it's perp. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? I have to live. I have to enjoy the company of other people. Even if it's just, you know, going to the grocery store and say, hey, how are you? How's your day? You know, I like your face mask. Which is, that's basically what you can compliment people on nowadays because everybody's wearing them, right? But anyway, yeah, that sort of stuff. You know, you have to live. You have to, you know, be around other people. You know what I mean? So, you know, but I don't like being suspicious of people. You know, and I don't like having to, you know, like when I think about the people in my past who got involved in this, like the people from my, people that I used to know, like I knew in high school or whatever. Like, I don't even know these people that well, okay? I don't know them that well. But in the past, I've always thought positively of them. And now I'm looking at these people, I'm like, fuck, these people are fucking goddamn assholes. You know what I mean? So it's like it takes your past, everything that you thought was decent and good, and you start realizing that these people are fucking goddamn monsters that you want nothing to do with, right? And so then you're like, wow, you know, what's left in your brain? What's left in your brain? The only thing you have left is to stay in the present moment, you see? So that's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, you know what I mean? But it's totally understandable why. You know what I mean? And for the illogical perps, you know, because that's one of the reasons that dealing with narcissism should be talked about in places. Like, they should talk about narcissism. If I had the chance to do it all over again, like, I taught my son a lot of interesting life lessons when he was little and stuff like that. But I would probably, if I had a kid nowadays, now, at this present moment, realizing with everything I went through in the last few years, they would be like, I would raise them hardcore cynical. Okay, I would be like, this person will walk around as a complete realist. Okay, none of that bullshit, sesame, caring and sharing bullshit. No, people are fucking evil, and I would tell them that from the very get go, from the minute they get out the womb. Watch yourself. Watch your back. Okay, people are fucking goddamn evil. Just about most people are walking around with murderous intent, and they're sick and twisted. Okay, this is exactly what I would be telling my kid. I mean, this has changed me a lot. Now, I've always been the kind of person who liked to laugh. I still love laughing. You know what I mean? I've always been the happy-go-lucky person, but in my private time, I was more introspective, like how I am now. Like, I'm a deep thinker. I go home and I just like sit in my room just to think. Like, I knew I was in some weird shit going on in high school. I kept thinking, why is all this weird shit going on? Why is this shit happening? Didn't quite understand it. I was never suspecting that, you know, I was being, like, bullied through other people, through my blood relations or whatever. I didn't put that together. But still, I was always reflecting. You know what I mean? And I was just really into whatever back then. But still, I mean, I was more introspective. Even though, like, my public face, I was always telling jokes. So I love laughing. I do. You know, I love the absurd. I love goofy humor. You know, not goofy humor like, I don't know, like some of those comedians, like, you know, like Pauly Shore. I can't stand him. I can't, you know, and I don't like talking bad about people. I'm sure he has the right to exist, okay? But his humor is not funny to me, okay? And some people think my humor is dorky. I find great pleasure in my humor. I still like telling jokes that make no sense where people cringe, and then I get a pleasure out of it. I still find that funny, okay? But I see now it's like, you know, be careful who you laugh with. Now I'm just more cynical and more realistic, I should say. And so I would, if I had the chance to do it over again, okay, which I'm too old to have children, but if I did have a child, this person, you wouldn't put anything past this person. Not a damn thing. Because they would look you in the eye the minute they meet you, and they would be just doing some serious psychoanalyzation. Okay? Because I have changed. You know what I mean? In that respect. You know, I love being warm and friendly to people. You know, I like making people laugh. I like it when people make me laugh, okay? But, you know, you can't expect somebody to go through a hate crime for 7 years, whether that be on the job, out in the community, looking for a job, going into a job interview that's bullshit to begin with or whatever, and then expect to be like, okay. No, it just doesn't work that way. I wish it wasn't like that, but, it's just life, right? So anyway, back to the present moment. So anyway, what I was thinking was that, I don't want to think about this all the time. So I need activity. I need to do things. I got to get out. I got to do things. I need to return to some sense of normalcy. It was wrong to put me in a sense of isolation. It was wrong to bully me through these whatever. And I'm trying to pick up the pieces of which I have a right to pick up the pieces of my life. I have the right to be around people who understand me. They may not understand me completely, and I may not understand them completely, but I have the right to have welcoming, rewarding friendships with people, with who I choose. Without invasion, I have the right to enjoy what's left of my life that was taken from me. Okay? Which you may not appreciate. These are the things I love. You know what I mean? My little trips to the 99-cent store, my little, artwork that I do may not be impressive. Maybe if you can afford those wonderful things at those nice places, and good for you, okay? I've seen some high quality art, online that I thought was quite striking. You know what I mean? But that's just not how shit goes. And the reason why it doesn't go that way is because I've had people bullying me. And I don't even really think that at this point in my life, I'm cool, really. I mean, I don't need to have, a house or anything like that. Like, I would be fine in a 1-bedroom apartment. I liked my little place over there that before I moved into this place. I liked it, but with the exception of the fact that the place really wasn't kept up well. I mean, it had a lot of problems and flaws. Like when I first moved into it, I didn't take a bath in that. I mean, I took a shower in it, but it was so disgusting. Like I didn't even want to sit in the bathtub. Okay, but it was cute. The little design, the layout was really cute. You know what I mean? I just want to live out the rest of my life. That's it. So now that you know what you've done and what it is under the definition of the law, a hate crime, okay, for shit that I don't really give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, I don't give a fuck about this girl from work and her fucking really. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Like I said, once I knew who he was, referring to my ex-husband, so I understood who he was, okay? You know what? How could you love that? I'm not emotionally, it's too bad because I thought he was somebody who we laughed together, we had a good time together, he was funny at times or whatever, but that is not enough to have me care about somebody who basically exploited me as well as, trafficked me and denied me my human rights. I hate crime. There's nothing desirable about that. So there is nothing that I'm mourning. I'm mourning the fact that you took my life away and wanted to chip it down to no existence. That is what I'm angry about. So anyway, I'm going to try to get on with this present moment. As I'm talking about the present moment, I'm actually projecting the future, meaning what I'm going to be doing next. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I might just take in a YouTube video, which is probably what I'm going to do. I would like to get outside and go for a walk. I went for a walk, I think, what was it, Friday? Yeah, I went for a walk on Friday, and I kept thinking as I walked out the door, oh Lord, here it goes again. I'm sure these people are going to be gossiping and people are going to be texting and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells in the United States of America. Yes, people have rights, okay? People like me have rights. And what you did was it was ridiculous. It was a hate crime. So anyway, back to the present moment. See, it's going to take me some time, so I'm going to get off here because the more I talk, the more I'm going to be doing that. So I need to focus on something else. So with that being said, for all targeted individuals, I hope that my videos have been of help. At least try to help put in perspective as to what happened to you, the mechanics of it. I hope that you guys get things worked out with your perpetrators and that you can have peace in your life. You know, that's really important. So I'm going to wrap this up and I'll be back with another video sometime later. Take care.